まで。ゲッタッ、その身に刻め。イーベルバレスティ。
我が血に新鮮せし力を解放せよ。王家ブラッディフォース。行こう。明けない夜はないんだから。バルキリー・アナトミア。
お母さん、死んだ子の代わりになれなくてごめん。私は私の家族に指一本でも触れたら許さない。はっ、プレジングソーサーディセントクライシス、すべての魔力をみんなを守るため倒れるわけにはいかない。
Hello guys, it's Shark talking and we're back for another video on this channel, and we give a look at the new characters released along this new event, and it's Odyssey and Alphio. We also have 2 new weapons to summon as well. This is a 3-step banner where you get 3 times the chances for a 6-star version of both character or weapon, goes up to 15%. Well, let's give a look first on Alphio. Alphio is a character but kinda released out of order. In Japan, he was released before Bram, so you can see. Well, he's kind of different type of character. He's very similar to people, even being a Greatsword user, because of his passives. Well, the first thing we need to see is that he has 3 attacks like all other characters with Greatswords, and only 4 hits, because he is a very focused type of character. His 3rd attack is based on Holy Elemental, and then his 5th attack is also from the Holy Elemental. All of his kit doesn't really specify using a Holy type of weapon, but you can also change the element without losing much. Okay, that's a good thing about Alphio. Well, let's give a look at his skills, because his skills are the most interesting thing about him, and he has True Seeing. It only increases 10% critical hit damage. Is very weak for the current meta. And then he has Monster Healing that lowers the chance of being poisoned, paralyzed, and blinded. So kinda lost 2 skills here are not that good. You just think that he's bad because of it. But well, wait, because he still has Refined Monster Blood. This skill is very good, guys. It gets up to 80% increase to all status. That's it, all status. And certain turns, it's not always all turns that he will get this, but looking here, he get the buff on the 2nd, 3rd, on the 3rd turn, and then only on the 7th turn and the 8th turn. So he skips 4 turns without the buff. So that's why he's very strong when he has the power, but when doesn't, he's kinda not that strong. But also, besides having this Refined Monster Blood, he also has this limited skill called Extreme Doping, that sacrifices 10% of his HP to increase the damage dealt. So you kinda can use both things on the 2nd turn and do a lot of damage. So Alphio doesn't have any skill that increases the skill damage, but by having 80% increase on his attack, it's kinda enough. Another thing that we need to talk about Alphio is that he doesn't have anything related to turn. So it's not stackable type of buff. It's only active or not active. So when you can wait to the 2nd turn to start your nuking, Alphio will work very well, and he can work with any weapons, because none of his skills are related to the Holy Element, only his normal attacks. And most of the time you'll be using him to do action skill damage, and also using his limited skill for this. Well, let's just give a look on another thing. Alphio doesn't have added bonus on this event, not even added drops, because this event was not Alphio event on Japan. This event is Odyssey event. So Alphio is here by accident, I could say, just because he's also from the Holy Element. They probably planned this because there's 2 characters from the Holy Element and 2 weapons from the Holy Element. They changed the pattern so to make this Divine Weapon banner. Then we'll have to look on Alphio Orb, and that's a very curious thing. Alphio doesn't really need his orb, because his orb tries to fill in on the turns that he's not with the buff, the powerful buff. So the pressing charge buff greatly increases attack and defense on the turns that he's not getting the buff from his extra refined monster blood. Refined monster blood can get up to 80% increase to all status starting from turn 2 and 3, and then he skips 3 turns and start doing it again on the turn number 7. So he gets in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 no, and then starts again on 7 and 8. It's 2 turns in and 3 turns out, okay? But the first one is not included. He only starts it by the second turn. It's different from people because people needs 2 turns out and 2 turns in. People only starts doing very high damage on the third turn. So if you're using some strategies with Nuke in mind, you can bring a full squad with damage and just need to survive at the first turn, and then Alphio will be your best damage dealer in some situations, okay? And that's why his orb is not needed. When you look here, it only increases the attack and defense on the turns that the other buff is not activated. And the buff that comes from the orb is only 30% increase. So below the 80% increase from the max refined monster blood. So that's why Alphio is still kind of good on the actual meta. But he can't exactly compete with people like Creation Valkyrie. But if you manage to bring him to the max attack levels, this buff will prove to be very, very strong because you can even do more damage by using his limited skill. He's not bad, and he should have been included on the 100-day login ticket. He probably will be in the future. And after Arnegrin, after Marge, and after maybe Abel, maybe Rebecca, this guy is one of the best characters on the first generation of the game. Okay, but also limited in use because he can only be used in new strategies. Okay, that's for Alphio. Now let's just give a look on Odyssey. In Odyssey is our best Holy mage in the game so far, but also she kind of competes with I'm forgetting her name. Shiho. Yeah, Shiho. Shiho is limited because you can only get her so far with the 7th-day ticket login bonus. And Shiho has increased damage to whole squad when using Holy. So Odyssey can work very well alongside Shiho, but when you need only one mage, you kind of need to choose well the one that you'll be using. Because Odyssey is a mage for long fights. Why she's a mage for long fights? Because she has something very unique. It's the Analyze stage that increases the mag defense for all squad. It can get up to 10% increase, it's not much, but if you're bringing squad of mages and you need to survive for a long turn, it means that you're probably facing someone that also uses magic. So this kind of helps you survive more, and also Odyssey needs 4 turns to reach her max potential if you use the Active Charge. Active Charge increases mag on start of each of your turns, and on level 5 it will increase 15% per turn. So you need 4 turns. You can include the first one because it already is activated on the first turn, and then on the 4th turn she will be doing a lot of damage. She also has this boosted spell that increases the damage dealt by action skills of the element Holy, so she's very limited on using the staff that deals active damage, and also she needs to wait for 4 turns to do a lot more damage, and also has a limited skill called the Magic Transformation that uses 1 Purification Gauge to increase her magic and everyone's magic even further. So for nukes on the 4th turn that uses rage type of characters, she's very good for this, and she can be used alongside Shiho unless you only need 1 Holy Mage. She can beat Shiho, but she also not that far from Shiho. That's my opinion on this. And also she has a very particular and different type of attacks. Her attacks are not common magic, they have special animations, and the first attack is 4 hits, the second is 2, and the third is 3. So she has 9 hits for her character. It's not that high, not that bad, but it's way better than Nelja. Okay, so she's very bad. Nelja can compare to Alice. Alice does way more damage than Nejla. So okay, we need to check now something, and it's her information from the event. She gets 200% damage plus and also gold bot drop up. She gets 25 gold drop for each run of your running, and she also gets double experience for the whole event. Okay, so that's Odyssey. We need to only talk about her orb, and it increases mag and holy damage. It increases 14 for each one, so this kind of increases her damage output by 28%. It's not that high like some other characters that get like 60% increase by just orb. So you don't really need her orb to make that much difference in damage. So that's good because both characters are not that reliant on their orbs to do damage, but orbs are always good when you can. Okay, so this finishes the two characters. We have to talk about the weapons. The first one is called Shambhala, and it's a staff from the Holy Element, and very welcome type of staff because we already have two other 6-star staffs, but they were support. We had Laughing Tooth that acts like Hangred, it debuffs enemies. We had Shuruk heals, but also Shuruk has Holy Damage Plus, so this is something that we need to talk. And now we have this staff called Shambhala. We need to click on Divine Weapon Traits to talk about everything about this weapon. And the first thing that we notice, it's a 3rd generation weapon. It's very high status, and also has guard hate from magical. All staffs have it, and has a passive that deals increased normal attack when you're using holy weapons. This is a holy weapon, but when you're using it as a sub, it will be half trigger hate, and it only will work on holy attacks. Also, the first and most important thing is that this staff deals severe damage. Well, there's something that I need to post a video talk about the type of damages. I finished my test, but I didn't make the video yet, and severe is the highest damage possible in the game right now. Both the staff and the sword has severe damage and 3 usages. So just like the same damage as Yufeng, Haskia's word, Vorpal Shade, and Roshways. Kinda not exactly like Roshways and Vorpal Shade because they also do more damage because they increased elemental damage. But this weapon here is the highest damage we can have, just like the other ones I mentioned. So besides this, it's a very safe weapon to invest, but this weapon can be upgraded to Legendary Evolution. But remember, you don't need to upgrade all your weapons to Legendary Evolution because first, you won't have all the necessary materials not early in the game. This is a very high-end game, and well, some weapons don't really need to be upgraded. You just need one Legendary Evolution weapon with each of your characters. This is your main weapons, and as a sub, this can work. Or when you're in a need of holy damage with staff, this is your very good weapon to use. This is the best weapon for Odyssey, and very good for Norn as well, for Neljla, for also Kashima. It's a very good staff when you're not using support. Now I need to talk about the Lakes. Lakes is a Holy Greatsword, the first we have in the game, because we also have the Clean Sohalis, but the Clean Sohalis is only from, the action skill is from Holy, but the base damage is non-elemental. This is the first, this is the best weapon for Alphio, also the best weapon for Frey. Frey was kind of waiting for this weapon to appear because she didn't have the chance to get more ice holy damage to make her attack even better. So this kind of way, I think this is better than the staff because the passive is way better. You see that there's dark defense too, and it reduces the dark damage taken by 15%. And 15 is kind of average, but it's something that helps if you're using this word with some Greatsword users because they will take a lot of damage. Some of them can draw attacks just like Arnegreen. You can even use this with Arnegreen if you want because or Claws. The magic guard hate is 24%, it's the average for most weapons. And also we need to talk that severe physical damage as well. So this is also the highest damage we can have so far, and this weapon is also from the 3rd generation. And for this event we also have 25 silver pot drops, just like the staff. Remember, the weapons will drop silver pots and Odyssey will drop gold pots. You kind of don't exactly need this either Odyssey or these weapons to farm this event, it's just to make it easier for you, okay? And as we talk about the weapons, this weapon also can be Legendary Evolution. Both weapons can be upgraded, but they are good as they are. Especially because we don't have a Greatsword of the Holy Element so far. Okay, so that's kind of finished it. I don't think I need to talk about more stuff about this. And well, if you have any doubts or want to talk about how you're using these weapons, please comment here on the comment section. Thanks for watching this so far. We'll see each other on the next video, and please subscribe if you haven't. Okay, bye.